Oh, chapter 0, heading to the school trip. Ego, I get my own chapter. Go me. Hump day is in middle of the week. What the fuck is wrong with you people? I like Crown Royal, why you gotta do that? I don't mind Crown Royal, but it doesn't go down quite as well when you're shooting it straight compared to some of the other things. Oh, hey, that's new. Apparently the new chat interface is actually recognizing my emotes now. That's kind of cool. No more massage parlor. God damn it. We spent like all my money there. Hey, Conteo. Also, good night, Cryptic Link. Alright. I'd be wrong to say it was swaying from side to side. It was actually shaking rather intensely. The room I was in was shaking from side to side. Shaking was quite irregular, just when you thought it was a series of small shakes, and it would suddenly shake violently. Hey, Saizena, how are you doing? And every time that happened, I'd have to steady myself with my foot. Couldn't stand up very well, but for me it was comforting. I never thought not knowing what to expect could be so fun, so I was feeling rather excited. I figured I'd get bored of that feeling soon enough. That's what I was expecting. For me, a person who's loved by talent, detecting irregularities among irregularities won't be that difficult. Ah, how boring. Do you like ships? On the other side of the dark room I heard a voice. It was clearly directed at me. It looked like you were having fun, so that's what I assumed. You like ships, right? Ships? Oh, that's right, that's it. So this is a ship. You just realized that now? Is it really that funny? Yeah, if you want, care to talk a little? The sounds are starting to bore me. Instantly I saw his true character. The overfamiliar attitude, the friendly smile. Under that thin skin I could detect a foul, offensive odor like some kind of putrid slime. In a sensible way, of course. How should I put this? It was a smell exclusive to those who were already finished. Nice to meet you. I'm Nagito Komaeda. Anyway, lucky me. Been a while since anyone was willing to talk to me, so to share a room with a person like that? Yep, I'm definitely lucky. Lucky? Ah, so that's your talent then. What a boring talent. Boring talent, huh? Well, that's exactly what it is. And for someone I'm meeting for the first time to say that so suddenly, that's because I have luck as well. Huh? Even I possess a talent as boring as luck. Possess, huh? I'm starting to get really interested. Who are you? You're obviously from Hopespeak Academy too, right? So you're one of us? Interesting. Is this actually... should I be using the Makoto voice? Oh, that's weird. This is the first time I've ever seen you. Hey, can you tell me why you're here? How did you end up here? Oh, boring. Sorry, I'm often told I'm terrible at making conversation. Not you. This world. Huh? This world is full of boring people. People who lack talent stick together and oppress those who do possess talent. Even though they know they're insignificant, they don't try to acknowledge their true superiors. They are profoundly desperate to drag them down to their level. And because of these bastards, this world has come to a deadlock. No, maybe I am Hajime right now. The world has stopped evolving. How boring. Well, the world is shaped by the will of the majority. It makes sense that it bends to those who lack talent. That's why we're in our present situation. Perhaps. Does that have anything to do with the reason you're here? Boring people make no contributions to the world, not even a speck of dust. That's why my teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. Looks like they had high expectations for you, huh? That's completely different from me. Now what are you planning to do? Now that you've ended up like this, there's nothing you can do, right? Listen well. Using people is a talent, too. It is now my turn to use that person just as they used me in the past. That person? Are you talking about ultimate despair? But how? I mean, they're already... I have it with me. The contribution that person left to me. Even now, it rests in my pocket. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely lucky. I can't believe I'm speaking with someone as amazing as you. Whoa. What is with his fingernails? And the bandaging. Nagito, please tell me you did not replace your arm with somebody else's. Do you have fucking Junko's arm? Well, that just got all kinds of creepy. It's more so than the painted nails. It's the same style that Junko had. Then, will I be able to see her again? Will I be able to see the person I hate with every fiber of my being again? And this time, will I be able to kill her this time? The person I hate so much. Hate? Then explain your hand. Ah, this? The end of that bandage. Is a woman's hand, right? Yeah. Isn't it amazing? I can't move it, of course. I mean, it's not my hand after all. But even now, it still hasn't rotted. Hey, maybe that means it's becoming one with me. Isn't it amazing? I've successfully become one with ultimate despair, my sworn enemy. I see, so you salvaged the body. You really are a boring person. Well, I don't want you to misunderstand. I see her as my enemy, you know? Because she's my sworn enemy, because I hate her so much. That's why I took her power. And for that Wait, huh? Do I hate her? Huh. That's strange. Huh? Oh, look at the window. We're finally here. You're starting to see it too, right? It's Jabberwock Island, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? I wonder what's going to happen on that island once we get there. What's going to happen? I can already predict what will happen. Huh? I already know because I'm loved by talent. No matter what happens. It's of no concern to me. I will not be able to participate in what lies ahead. Really? Is this the person whose arrival we've been waiting on? I don't really understand, but I guess we have to part ways for a while. That's disappointing. We seem to get along pretty well. Hey, can I see you again? There's no reason we'll ever meet again. After all, you're boring. Your talent, your thoughts, your entire existence is boring to me. He didn't have that hand in game, Bowman. Which is why the thoughts that maybe everything is simulation is... We'll see. You really don't play along, do you? Well, no, that would be boring. Wait, did we ever see both his hands? No, we definitely saw both his hands. We saw both his hands at the very least when he was dead. Huh? What is this? Apparently it's Full Metal Alchemist. That's a door. There's a door. Huh? A door? Why is a door here? Where am I? How did I get here? Where am I supposed to go? Isn't this similar to when Makoto first passed through the doors? Door hype. Huh? Isn't this a classroom? Even so, it's a very strange classroom. Why am I in a place like this? Speculation Nagito is secretly ultimate alchemist. I went inside the ancient ruin with everyone else. Hey, CTC! And I arrived at a place that looked like a trial ground, but then why... It's not connecting. I don't know why I'm here. It's like there's no connection between how I left the trial ground and how I ended up here. It's just like before. When we were all gathered in that classroom, just before we arrived at Jabberwock Island. Where is this place? Is it somewhere on Jabberwock Island? Show me the cadaver.
Testing, testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system. Am I
Hey, Rubik's,
on?
how you doing?
Can everyone hear me? Okay, well then. Welcome to Hope Speak Academy, you guys. At this point, I shall explain the graduation exam to you all. So please assemble at the gymnasium immediately.
Huh? Did he say what I think he just said? Yes, he definitely said it. He said, "Welcome to Hope's Peak Academy." But why would this place be Hope's Peak Academy? And not just that. What is the graduation exam? Isn't the killing over already? Well... Even the hallway doesn't feel like a school at all. What a creepy place. At least, it doesn't look like a normal school at all. Oof, good luck with that Rubik's Cube. That's definitely a lie. There's no way this place is Hope's Peak Academy. Is this creepy place the Hope's Peak Academy that I've admired for so long? It's probably a building that Monokuma made to startle us, just like the funhouse. That's right, that's definitely it. Monokuma said to come to the gymnasium, right? Then I'll go, and definitely clear things up. Well, isn't that a fucking trip? Look where we are. That is all sorts of fucked up. Gymnasium is here, right? Alright, I'm going inside. Something might be waiting, but I'm not going to cower away anymore. And so I braced myself and cautiously opened the door. At least it's not third person anymore. Admittedly, I eventually got used to their weird mapping. It's just really bizarre at first. This is the end. Goodbye, Academy of Despair. I wasn't prepared for what was waiting for me on the other side of that door. Well, that's a scene I know well. It was a normal gymnasium.
Damn right.
Yo, Hajime.
Yo!
You heard the announcement it came here too? You guys did too, right?
What's going on?
Hey, what do you make of all this? Monokuma said this place was Hope's Peak Academy or something.
That is...
That cannot be possible.
Well,
You're right.
yeah.
Any way you look at it, it's impossible. Hello. How does it feel to return to long-awaited Hope's Peak Academy?
Right, you?
You.
Hey, where are we? Where'd you lock us up this time?
That's...
What a shock. I just told you guys this is Hope's Peak Academy.
Of course not!
No way in hell that's true.
No, no!
Yeah, but it is. I mean, this is definitely Hope's Peak Academy. Well, what's left of it anyway. What's left of it?
What?
Didn't I tell you before? Unfortunately, Hope's Peak Academy fell to ruin.
Lies!
You were serious about that?
Silly fool!
Of course it fell to ruin. I mean, they were doing things that they deserved to be ruined for. What do you mean?
I don't like this!
Anyway, I'm pretty disappointed. I went to all this trouble to bring you to Hope's Peak Academy, and you don't feel surprised or nostalgic.
Fine, fine.
Oh well, it's not like I did this for you guys. Wow, that's a pretty weird take on everything, Chloe. That was put everything in a very odd light. Even if you don't feel nostalgic, I'm sure someone is feeling nostalgic right now. Someone?
Don't fuck with me!
Enough with this bullshit, just spit it out already. Where'd you take us, you bastard? Although I'm not certain of my memories, I believe we entered the ancient ruin and...
In other words...
That means... I made this Hope's Peak Academy between the door to the ruin and the inside of the ruin.
You...
What do you mean between?
Hey!
What do you mean made?
What's this?
Oh my, are your minds getting the grumblies that only knowledge can satisfy? Good, very good. It's fun to hurry along to the graduation exam, but it's in my nature to provide a little entertainment. Entertainment? You're planning to make us do something, aren't you?
No way!
There's nothing to be so cautious about. It's not like you'll be making life exchanges or anything like that.
Shing!
Speculation at TARDIS. It's just a simple graduation exam.
Huh?
What is the graduation exam? Yeah, my speculation, simulation. Chiaki's inability to go against Future Foundation? Program. Not person. I mean, the precedent for that kind of AI is already present with Alter Ego.
Hey,
Well, as a headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate.
are you sure about
On the other hand,
this?
I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world.
So,
That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. Huh?
why?
We're obviously gonna get out. There's no way we'd stay here.
That's right.
This is annoying. Just hurry up and let us choose. Let us choose right now.
No, no, no!
Hey, Ramses. I've been running for about 20 minutes. We had a brief exchange between somebody we don't know and Nagito before all these events began. And Nagito apparently is, wearing the hand of the villain from the previous game. So that's a little creepy. You can't do that. The main cast hasn't arrived yet. Main cast?
Hey,
Meaning, two casts are just extras until the guest of honor arrives.
damn it!
So enough complaining already. Hurry up and start researching the outside world. What do you mean?
Uh-huh.
I've dispersed all the teaching materials you need for your research throughout Hope's Peak Academy. Well, I don't think this needs to be said, but all the information is accurate and contains no lies whatsoever. Otherwise the main cast is gonna hate me. So, please rest assured and strive to do your best during your field trip. Oh, sorry to hear, Ramses. Hope you're doing better now. Oh, yippee-ki-yay, transcode. As usual, after leaving us with his cryptic words, Monokuma disappeared. Even if the setting had changed, even if the killing was finished, he was still the same as usual. What is going on? Outside world? Main cast? Somehow, I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey, hey!
Like, he kept insisting that this place is Hope's Peak Academy. But that's impossible, right?
What are you saying?
How do we make it back to Hope's Peak Academy from a tropical island in the first place? It's impossible.
It cannot be.
There's no place for Hope's Peak Academy to exist on Jabberwock Island. I said I wanted to go back, but I don't want to go back to a creepy place like this. What does this mean? So many things I don't understand have happened on the island. This building is really Hope's Peak Academy? This is the Hope's Peak Academy I've been admiring for so long? What in the world is going on? Damn it, why is this happening? Why? Once upon a time I had a smile on my face. I was finally able to attend Hope's Peak Academy. I finally thought I'd become confident in myself. Even so, I wanted to become Hope? If that's what you're thinking, just stop it. Listen carefully. The only humans worthy of becoming Hope possess amazing talents and a strong will. And the moment you're born into this world, you either have that or you don't. It has nothing to do with effort. You must be chosen by Hope to become Hope. That's why it's not even worth admiring. Are we so blinded by your admiration for Hope's Peak Academy that you couldn't even see that? Ugh. It's just some nobody from the reserve course who never had a talent to begin with. And nobody who forgot he was a nobody. That's all. If I really am a nobody, then you should have just left me alone. Why? Why do I have to go through something like this? Hajime, did something happen? Huh?
Hey, bastard!
Now's not the time to zone out. Pinch blew your mind when you played that game. Sunday Kid, did you mean Lost Shinjuku? I thought Lost Shinjuku was a really nice touch. Sorry, it's nothing. I don't really get it, but is that all?
I'm gonna do it!
As long as I don't beat the crap out of Monokuma, nothing's gonna be solved. Is that what it means?
Hey,
So what the heck is Monokuma anyway? He's not part of the Future Foundation, right? If you say that, then what is the Future Foundation?
Jeez.
Even though Chiaki and Monami are gone, our situation hasn't changed one bit, which means Future Foundation wasn't our enemy. That's the only thing I can think of.
You serious?
So they're not World Ender? Then we really were tricked by Monokuma? However, the Future Foundation is responsible for trapping us on this island, right? Regarding that matter, I believe Monami never once denied that.
Damn it.
Even if they're our allies, they might not just be allies. Maybe Monokuma is telling us to investigate that information on our own. Chiaki said she could not betray the Future Foundation. If she were still alive, she definitely would have helped us. No. Even her just being with us would have been a big help. Yeah, Ishimura worked extremely hard.
Damn it.
Well, that's obvious. If we're gonna get out of here safely, we have to do that graduation exam, right?
So annoying.
Graduation exam, huh? I'm not really good at taking exams. I guess it's better than people dying.
Jeez.
Monokuma said something about a field trip, right? Is he telling us to investigate like we have been?
All right.
Gonna do it.
Prepare yourself!
Like...
Yeah, we might be able to learn about something. About Hope Speak Academy, about ourselves.
Ah.
I don't know. I don't care if we don't know anymore. If we can just go back to our normal lives, I'm fine.
Hey!
Hey, we can go home when this is over, right? We can finally get off this damn island, right? If that's the case, let's all leave this island alive by any means.
Of course.
Hell yes. Thank you, Sonia. He was right. Now's not the time to bemoan how unlucky I am. Yes, suddenly Hajime realizes about the other clever people he's still alone. That's why I was so scared of losing those two people. They were the smart ones. Yep, there's a game like this with randomization, a lost dimension. That was a fun one. Not quite like this, but certain similarities. Well, this place really is. What's happened to Hope's Peak Academy? None of that matters. What's important is, I need to leave this island with the others. Persona 3 guy, we're at the start of Chapter 6. We sacrificed so many lives in order to survive just so we could do that. There's no way we can stop now. But Monokuma should already know that that's what we're thinking. So why did he say that? We have to decide on our own whether or not we want to leave Jabberwock Island. He should already know that we'd never choose to stay on this island.
Hey, hey.
So what are we gonna do? Can we start already? What are we even looking for? We just have to investigate this weird-ass building?
Even so.
I don't think we'll find the answers to all our questions inside this damn building.
Ah!
Bye, Akane.
Whoa!
Hey, you're already going?
Jeez.
Why's that idiot thinking running ahead without being cautious?
Man.
However.
It'll be fine. There'll no longer be any situations where we must exchange each other's lives.
All right.
Probably. So we should do our best as well. Like they say, it is not scary if everyone stops at a green light. If we stopped at the green light, we'd never reach our goal.
Jeez. You're pathetic.
Akane already took off on her own. Might be faster if we split up and look around too. Like Sonia said, if there's no more killing, we don't have to worry about anyone betraying us anymore. Well, let's get this over with and go home.
Later.
I'll go on ahead. See you guys later. With those brief words, Fuyuhiko left the gymnasium.
Excuse me.
I shall do my best to obtain a wonderful clue that will be useful to everyone. Now then, please excuse me. Sonia took a deep bow and left the gymnasium.
Oh my.
Miss Sonia?
Miss Sonia!
Miss Sonia, please don't leave me. I'll be in danger if I'm left alone. I'm totally gonna stalk you to the very end. Oh god, you creepy motherfucker. I should hurry and start too. Just a bit more. Just a bit more and it's going to end. I can escape this nightmare and return to my usual, peaceful, everyday life. The only thing we can do is advance toward that hope. Even though I don't understand, and a lot of horrifying things keep happening. For the sake of everyone who couldn't make it this far, I'm definitely going to go home. Well, probably not much of anything for me to check out in here. Except apparently for you.
I knew you could do it.
Man, that final investigation music. Huh? That's weird. This is the hallway I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but right now it's looking like floor 3, 4. Floor 4. Yeah, somewhere thereabouts, I don't remember. Hey, Trivanicus! It's clearly different. Is this Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent. And I'm not gonna fall for this trap. There's no way this will make me back down. No, we can't get into there. This hallway, there's a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movement.
I am
Is
concerned.
it just me? Well, we can check. Nope, guess we're not going in here. Alright, we can get to the dojo at least. Is this a dojo? These full of strange things make me think there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense. What the hell's this? What is this? Is this a manga? The title is Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this? Let's start with history first, class.
Hey,
Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. And what's the first to ask? It depends on the person. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. Fine, I'll look at it. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is. Picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it is also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this well, really, they just need to find the ultimate stockbroker. Problem solved. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent, so they decide to implement a new system. The Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. Wow. Second stringers. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy is now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. Just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Huh? The ending was so sudden, like a manga that suddenly cancelled in the middle of its run. Plus, these phrases mentioned at the end of this manga, the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. These names are so melodramatic. There's no way these incidents really happened, right? This manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know the details, but no, it'd just be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. Wow, said no scientist ever. Hajime, you fail. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The Reserve Department. That department was only built to collect money. I was one of those reserve course students, right?
But hold on.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, you're here again.
Shing!
I think that's weird. It's you, of course. Huh?
Hey! Hey!
Why did you forget that you were part of the reserve department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? Well, you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So, I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that, too. What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Oh, based on my assumption, Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you're one of those reserve course students.
I got it!
Or you willingly sealed those memories yourself. Huh? You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. That happens pretty often. Not that I know anything about that, though. You're saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it.
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Oh, that's expected of a reserve course student. Damn it, what the heck? Oh god. Oh no. Why are we getting truth bullets? Oh shit. His armor and a helmet. The map developers designed this to reflect a Japanese dojo? Target seems pretty far away. If the production team had more time, there could have been a mini-game here. Wait, what am I saying? There's a straw post. I guess that means it was used for training. A bunch of wooden lockers here. Each of them has a traditional-looking woodblock key sticking out of them. I guess they're just for show. There's nothing in particular that looks like a clue. Oh, this cherry tree is in full bloom. Might be a tasteful sight to see a blooming cherry tree inside a dojo. In this situation, it just looks bizarre. It's just chunks of the post missing. Alright, well, we know we can't go in there. Oh, what's up, Kazuichi?
What's going on?
This hallway, it's kinda creepy. I can't go to places that should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something. I gotta assume we're not getting in here either. Introduction in the first hour, Spoons? You know, I'll let someone else fill you in. There's some weird, creepy stuff going on, mostly involving Nagito wearing a woman's hand. This is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. Kind of reminds me of City Hunter at a distance. Now, this one is manga for morons, The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, huh? Wasn't The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy mentioned in that other manga too? That's why Hope's Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it's the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn a little more about that incident? Nice cover. Took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages. I wonder if that's meant to be the headmaster. The old one, the real one. To see what I could learn about the event known as the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. Go figure. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamakura. Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity, meaning that's probably not the real name. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who is known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy Student Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. Ah, so that's the room we found upstairs in the first game. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and concealed the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of Reserve Corps students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. I wouldn't count on it, Ramses. The developers have literally never released anything on PC that I'm aware of. That is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. We're excited? Danganronpa 0. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Oh, that's nice techno. Not entirely surprised, though. Game soundtracks crop up on iTunes relatively often. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy. The Great Fall. Oh god, what is that a reference to? That sounds so familiar.
What irony. For a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such gruesome incidents. A talent like that is too regal for society. Hi, it's a Maximus Radimus. Welcome, Raiders. How are you doing today? Welcome to Maximus Genes 90. Welcome, Adult Zero. Welcome to the Blue Rose Night. Cessification. How are you all doing today?
Thank you so much for the host as well, Maximus. We are currently working on the end of Danganronpa 2. Welcome, Slomek. Well, cheers to everyone who just joined this godless whiskey. Oh, that is so weird compared to my usual whiskey. That tastes so odd. Cheers and welcome all of you. Hope you're having a fantastic week. I was about to say, can I get a shout out from Access Beam? Well, I'll do it myself. Just make sure I'm getting... I always forget that it's J07. Like, oh, it's Maximus. What comes after that? There we go. Ooh, Chrono Trigger. How are you enjoying it, Maximus? So for anyone who's new who came in with that, welcome. I am CareLevelZero, and I stream the niche games you might have loved if you'd ever played them. Though in this case, Maximus has played it as well. Imagine I'm not the only one. Nothing quite like greeting Raiders in the Donokuma voice.
Oh, you know, I was already in that mode anyways. Time to continue with it. Let's see. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent.
Damn it. It always has to lead up to something offensive. It seriously pisses me off. Oh, you just beat it today? Loved it? Excellent. Alright, Chrono Trigger was good times. But, Ultimate Hope. Before it dawned on me, man, that one blew my voice out so fast. Like, how do you do a high-pitched Donokuma female? Vocal cord explosion. Nagito mentioned that before, too. It looks like it means something completely different here. Oh, man, I just realized I can't actually see that. There it is! Gaffa, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Radio Zero. I was wondering why I couldn't see that. Cheers to you. Oh, that's odd. No, that's correct. Never mind. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. For Zero, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. That's right, the reserve department. Here, it said the reserve corps students in the reserve department began uprising. And what about me? Was I a participant too? No, it's not possible. There's no way. I have no reason to do something like that. Anyway, I learned about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, but the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? Who's this other student that isn't a Zero? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who is that? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. Mysteries just keep piling up. By the way, with the, being the ultimate rabble-rouser, hell yeah! By the way, with the Cove now having an official release date of the 29th of the month, we're basically going to roll straight into Ultra Despair Girls after this. We're originally going to run Darkest Dungeon in the interim, but don't need to anymore. We have time. Now, was there a room that I could go into that I missed? No, we hit the dojo already. We can't get in there. Pretty sure that... Oh, that is open now. Yeah, Makoto is normal. He's fully aware he's normal, whereas Hajime has always strive to be something more. Is the secret student Junko? Well, I suspect they're referring to, well, actually, Mukuro was known as the Ultimate Despair. But the Ultimate Despair was too, so Junko could be tied into that too. What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. Let me just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. More reading material! Ooh, looks like a horror one. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history! Oh, that's convenient. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? So what was that incident really all about? It turned out to be something lame. The lamest, most terrible, most pointless event in human history? I suppose that's possible. Looking at that open mouth, all I can think is that we have a quote somewhere about unhinging jaws like some sort of moral python. Pretty sure we were talking about Kakarot at that point. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, and most tragic event in human history. This is drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. The movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. And then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. It was a plain old Kiyotaka. Well, yeah, it was before he was Kakarot. I'll just always remember him as Kakarot now, because he was awesome. Hey, Steve! How's it going? Hey, Smith in a Jar, welcome. Did you miss anything cool? Nagito's left hand is Junko's from Danganronpa 1, which is a little bit weird. A little bit creepy. And a little bit wrong. Other than that, we're currently actually in Hope's Peak Academy from Danganronpa 1, and I'm collecting truth bullets for some sort of final exam. The strong butchered the weak killed the weakest among them, and soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. as if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people wouldn't watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world, a war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain, just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they use them for the sake of mankind's despair. How is that different than Now Sundown Kid? I like to think that what they're trying to express with this event is that everywhere became Detroit. Just all over the world became Detroit. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. And all I can think of when I read that is flash ads went through the roof. Everywhere. Ads within ads within ads over top of ads. Fuck that. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. Shots fired, oh wait. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, my body felt ice cold. We also joked at one point that the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history was actually EA purchasing every game studio in the world. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, a nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant? What's happened to them?
No way!
Hey, you're seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you?
I would enjoy reading something like this.
What?
Oh my, you don't like manga? High school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy.
Enough. What is this messed up manga?
I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but
The other joke tragedy? Donald Trump got elected?
for you not to remember that? Such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains.
This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real.
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world.
I see. So that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning.
Well, as a headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. On the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want us to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here.
He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. Well, there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope, just like now. Perhaps, no, that's definitely it.
Oh, you keep telling yourself that.
Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? They're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction. Are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. If they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then, are the killings more involved and connected to them as well? Hope and dead people. Have a good night, kids. Rest well. It's no use. I'm gonna freeze to death. I'm at my limit. I need to get out of here. You know, I could have picked that thing up and walked out with it, probably. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. Oh, that was close. Nearly froze to death. So where should I go next?